Heavenly Father, as I start this Bible study, I just want to ask that, you know, as I'm recording this message and posting it, and whoever's seeing it is seeing it, that through me, your word can be portrayed to the person that needs it, person that's seeking for it, person that's asking for it. Because, Lord, we need you. We really do need you. And without you, the world's a mess. The world's a mess without you. So yeah. Just gonna let it roll, bro. How to be a support. I've got so many different studies that we've done. Oh, yeah, I've done a few Bible studies. Which one do we do today? I don't know. These notes of my Psalms. Genesis. Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, cool. We're gonna look at Eve. Bro, my Bible is such a mess. We're gonna look at trusting God today. Genesis 18. Yeah, it's Abraham. Bro, why am I acting like I haven't done this before? Cool. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree." I wrote on my notes that Abraham was so humble, whilst in, and I think what I picked up on in the heat of the day. So obviously we know that this would have been in the Middle East, so it would have been boiling hot. And in the middle of the day, he's saying, I don't want water for myself. I want water to wash your feet, and I just need a little bit. And what I just picked up just now is that Abraham asked for just a tiny bit of water, just a little bit of water, and he said that he could wash all the feet of the visitors, suggesting that all you need is just that tiny bit, and it can go a long way when you know that it's coming from God. And he said, yeah, if I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under his tree. So what I kind of picked up on is that even though Abraham would have been in the heat of the day, and he would have been hot and everything, probably be sweating, he was like, let me wash your feet, Lord. Like, let me look after you, Lord, because of the blessings that you've given unto me. Let me get you something to eat so you can be refreshed and then go on your way. Now that you have come to your servant. Very well, they answered. Do as you say. So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. Quick, he said, get 3 says, bro, I don't know what that says, of the finest flour and knead it and bake some bread. Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice, tended the calf and gave it to a servant, who hurried to prepare it. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. Where's your wife Sarah? They asked him. There in the tent, he said. But one of them said, I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. Now, Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were very old already, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, after I'm worn out, and my Lord is old, will I have this pleasure? The Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Will I really have a child now that I'm old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed next time, and Sarah will have a son. Sarah was afraid, so she lied. I did not laugh. But he said, yes, you did laugh. So, what we picked up on this was that, sometimes we doubt God. Sometimes when we pray and when we ask for things and God's words and God's promises, ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be answered to you. And sometimes we're just thinking, bro, there's no chance. Like, what? Like, how? And this is after This is even after God, not of God, after Sarah, Abraham, and Hagar had a kid. Well, obviously Hagar had a kid because they were thinking, nah, bro, like they said they're gonna give us a child, but like, where's this child? So then they had a kid with Hagar, and that was Ishmael. So now they're saying, bro, like, God, you already told me that you're gonna do this, and you haven't done it yet, and now it's even getting longer. Now I'm even older. It's like, God, I've prayed this prayer, and I've asked you to perform this, perform that, and it's like you're just delaying it, Lord. Like you're delaying thinking, and it's just like, bro, like 2 Peter 3:9, it says like the Lord is not slow as we may think, but He's patient for our own benefit. And it's like sometimes the prayer that you're praying is being answered through an answer that you just haven't realized. Like praying for patience is not gonna come it might not come in a sense of, okay, cool, this is a measurement of patience, here, just take it, buy it. Like you get me. It's like it might be things are a bit more complicated in your life, and then you need to be patient with someone. Or maybe you're usually rushing to do one thing. Maybe you're rushing to go to work that way, and then you're like, okay, cool, let me take the long way. And then the long way you realize, okay, cool, there's a bit of traffic. And patience is more like a sense of your prayer you've asked for, and the prayer you've prayed, it's being answered in different ways to what you expected. Like I remember praying for a better relationship with my whole family. I'd call them and they'd be like, okay, like, yeah, what's wrong? Why did you call me? Not like in a rude way, just like in a curiosity way, because like sometimes you just don't really call people. And then probably becoming the answer to through the prayer, I'm answering my own prayer through the initiative that God's given me to go and do. And sometimes that can happen in our own lives, and every single situation, not every single situation, but a lot of situations we're in, we might not be able to see that the prayer's being answered and you're in the middle of the answered prayer. Especially when it comes to like subtle things, like for example praying for a new job, and then like you get a response from an employer, or then your whatever business you might be running, it gets that little boom again. It's like, in a sense of, if your prayer was for A's and you got A pluses, did God answer your prayer? You know what I'm saying? Did God answer your prayer, or did God do more than what you've asked for? And then it's like, okay, cool. So I can want one thing and God can give me another. And that one other thing could be better for me. It could have more longevity. I could get B pluses or I could get Bs. And then the next level of education I go to, the job that I wanted or the networking that I wanted to do is right there in front of me. And it's like, you've got to commit and just trust God. Because once you doubt God's plan, or once you doubt that God is performing, bro, that's when you're walking by sight and not by faith. And I remember we were doing a study like a couple of days ago, and we were looking at, trusting God's plan. And I brought up walking by faith, not by sight. But I think one story that kind of hit me like a couple hours after actually, that I should have brought up, that I wanted to bring up, was when Peter was walking on water with Jesus, bro. He was literally doing the miracle that like millions of people talk about, and was thinking, nah, no way Jesus walked on water. And Peter was walking on the water, and he was like, and then in the middle of the storm, and he said, Lord, if that's you, let me like call my name so and I can come to you. And then Peter, he realized that he was walking on water in the middle of the storm. And then he got so scared, he dropped and started drowning. And it's like, when your focus changes from God to your surroundings, or when your focus changes from God's plan and God's provision to then you in your very own situation, which is, not as, and actually is some of the situations we are in as believers and as humans, bro, they're bad situations, bro. Like, even when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, bro, like I know you're with me, Lord. And that's even saying, bro, like, you're gonna go through some hard times. Like, Jesus literally went through the worst persecution possible, bro. He was getting whipped, getting spat on, bro, I can't even, like, so it's like, for us, we know that there's going to be temptations. We know that there's going to be suffering. We know that there's going to be attacks from the enemy. So it's like, if we focus on where we are now, we will struggle to keep walking and keep on the narrow path, because we're just thinking, okay, yo, like my life's terrible right now. God, what are you doing for me? God, what are you doing for me? God has a plan, bro. God has a plan. Walking through the valley of the shadow of death, like, you're gonna go through it, but you just gotta keep walking and get through it to the end. And then, okay, cool. I'll kind of fast pace. I'll kind of fast forward a bit. Lord said the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great and their sin so grievous. Like, bro, what's happening in Sodom and Gomorrah is the mad thing. Like, it's literally Sin City. So, and like, it's like, what's going on over there is just so bad that God just needs to, yo, you man of God, you man need to pattern up. So then, that I will go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know. The men turned away and went towards Sodom. So this is the two men. There's three men. One's the Lord, and then the two angels. But Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you see for the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50?" And obviously, we know that Lot lived in Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, Sodom. Lot lived in Sodom. So if he destroys Sodom, if they destroy Sodom, bro, Abraham's relative, I think they're related. Pretty sure they're related. Was Lot related to Abraham? Related. Abraham's nephew. So cool. If that got destroyed, obviously he's gonna be heartbroken. So then cool. So Abraham's asking, say, God, okay, cool. That city, they're doing the mad thing. But if there's 50 of them that are righteous and on the path of God, will you spare them? God said, you know what, I've got you. And then Abraham's thinking, wait, hold on, them man are actually going mad. Like, them man are doing the mad thing. He's like, okay, cool. If there's only 45, will you spare them? And God's like, the Lord's like, you know what, Abraham, I got you. And then he goes down. He is 40. The Lord said, I got you. And 45, 40. And then he goes to 30. And then he goes to 20. And then eventually, and then he finishes on 10. But every single time Abraham asks God, can you do this number? Can you do that number? The Lord said, for the sake of the 40, I will not do it. For the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. For the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. And what this said to me is that every single time we have doubts and we're unsure of something, and we know that we have our struggles, and people around us have struggles, we can go to the Lord and the Lord won't change. God said the exact same thing every single time. Abraham's saying, okay, cool, God, like, I know I just asked you to take this away from me. I just asked you to look, not take this away from me. I just asked you to do this number. But I don't think that I'm strong enough, or they're strong enough. Can you do this number? And he's going down and down. And Lord said, for that sake, for the sake of 40, I will do it. For the sake of 30, I will do it. And it's like, he's having a real back and forth with God, and God's just saying, I'm here, I understand, I got you. I understand, I got you. And it's like, with our problems and the things we're going through, I'll be going to the Lord again and again and saying, Lord, I'm struggling, but I need help. Lord, I'm struggling, but I need help. Lord, I'm struggling, but I need help. You can go to God, keep going to God, keep going to God. And God's got you, bro. But you just have to keep going. Because if Abraham stopped and said, okay, cool, can you do 40? And God said, yeah, I got you. And he's like, mate, I wish I asked for 30 because I know them and I'm moving mad. I should have asked for 20 actually, because even 30 is a bit of a high number. And it's like, if we were in doubt and said, you know what, God's gonna say no. God's gonna I can't ask him again. I already prayed for that prayer. I already prayed for that. I already had that conversation with him. I already asked him to take away that sin from me. He's not gonna take away this next sin. Bro, just go to God, bro. Actually find time and go to God. Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. Chapter 19. The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening.